we go. I think we're almost. Hey, everybody, we're live on the Tejano Democrats page, Hayes County Tejano Democrats. So, our subject tonight is using TikTok for politics and all sorts of other fun, too, I'm sure. So, our guest is Dr. Michelle Cohen from Hayes County and a Tejano Democrat member. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you, Willie, for having me. It's exciting to talk about TikTok. Who'd have known? Did we talk about this?
Well, our president doesn't seem to think TikTok is a good idea. So we figured, if the president doesn't think it's a good idea, it's probably a good idea.
Absolutely.
So just doing the opposite. So what do you think about that, about the president wanting to ban TikTok? What's your view on that?
Well, I've been on TikTok for probably just over 2 months, and the content that I've seen has really changed from more of a kind of fun, just people doing regular things, to very politically driven content, which people are kind of poking fun at the president, impersonating him, and I am guilty of doing that. I have a character on TikTok called Latina Trump. So I've done a few skits of my own, and I know he does not like people making fun of him, but there is a lot of that on TikTok, unfortunately. So, and TikTok as a platform is really growing, and it's probably become like the number 4th platform in the hierarchy of social media, being Facebook being number 1, and then Instagram and things like that, which are all owned by Facebook. So of course the Mark Zuckerberg are really concerned about TikTok growing so fast and having such a huge following all of a sudden. And we can thank the young people for that. And they've really gone after President Trump for some of the things that he's done in the pandemic, or his lack of response in the pandemic. The George Floyd circumstance that happened, that really pumped up the young base. And so they're really, and of course the Oklahoma rally, where they very much sabotaged that for him. And so he definitely wants, TikTok probably taken down, and probably does Mark Zuckerberg. He probably wants TikTok taken down as well, because it's taking some of his users, or of Facebook. So yeah, I understand why he's probably not happy.
Well, I wonder if maybe he saw some of your videos and he really wanted to. That's one of the reasons. Maybe, I don't know. But you never know. You never know. So, what do you think? Do you think candidates should use TikTok to reach out to voters?
Absolutely, and I will tell you the number one reason why. 41% of the users on TikTok are between the ages of 16 and 24. Okay, so that poll was taken months ago. Now with the, of course, President Trump talking about TikTok is probably adding to that demographic. And what we're also seeing is a larger, more adults past that age group joining TikTok. So there's a huge base that I think the candidates are not tapping into. And so at a recent forum, I noticed that a lot of the candidates were posting, oh, come find me on Facebook, here's my website, but no mention of TikTok whatsoever. And so I think they're really missing out on an opportunity to actually engage in young people, because I hate to break it to them, but Facebook is now seen as some place where your parents go and your grandparents go. So they don't want to hang out at the Facebook pages, or even the Instagram pages. They hang out at TikTok. And so that's where those potential voters are. That's where our candidates need to be focused on, because they are the most motivated individuals that I have seen in a long time. And so the content, like I've seen, is very politically driven. People are, putting out messages, get out and vote, go register to vote. That messaging is there, and talking about everything that President Trump has done or not done for our country, they're bringing it up, and these are young people, and so I am like super just excited, and they motivate me to continue to do content because they are so engaged and they are ready. They are like completely ready for November to get here. So yes, I think that candidates definitely need to be engaged in TikTok. They need to learn how to use it, start becoming comfortable with it. It's not easy. If you don't have, if you're kind of one of those person, you're an introvert, it may not be the best. It may be hard for you to engage in the app. But there are ways that you could do, small engagements as you kind of build your confidence up with TikTok, and kind of learn the filters and the capabilities of the platform. You can get started easily and kind of move into it. But the trick with TikTok is you have to like post content every day, sometimes 3 times a day. Like you consistently have to do content. And that's what they call it, building content, having good content. You are a creator in TikTok, and your goal is to build content. Your goal is to get followers. And that's the difference between Facebook and TikTok. In Facebook, you're only allowed to have 5,000 friends. In TikTok, you can have 1 million friends. There's no cap on the number of followers that you can have. And they have certain controls in it where when you first join TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers before you can actually go live in TikTok, and that's when you get the real engaging with the people that are following your page, is by going through those lives. And so that's the goal actually that I'm trying to reach, is to get to 1,000. And so, but I know it has a lot to do with this content building.
Well, nice. Well, hopefully we can get you a few more followers from here. If anybody's already listening to TikTok or on TikTok, her handle is there on the scrolling down on the bottom. I know one of the things that I was doing to prepare for the interview is I did some research on TikTok, and one of the things I found was really, really interesting is a gentleman who, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's real popular on lots of social media. He was saying that right now there's not enough content on the platform for the number of people that are on it. So it's like the early days of Facebook, where if you post, it used to be you could post something on Facebook and lots of people saw it, but now there's so much stuff on Facebook that you may not see your own friends' posts until a few days later, or you may never see your friends' posts sometimes. But with TikTok, that there's a dearth of content, so that you have the opportunity to get seen more than you can on other platforms. But one of the things that kind of made me shy about TikTok is, the first thing I heard is that, a lot of it was for people who are dancing. You have to dance or sing or do something like that. Do you have to have do you have to do dance in order to be popular on TikTok?
Yeah, it's what's great about the app, I think it's regular people. It's not celebrities, it's regular people doing just things that make them happy, whether it be dancing, whether it be singing, doing voiceover with, maybe during a skit, just talking about a headline of the day. It's very free, and the controls that you can, improve your content are there and are easy to access. And so that's what really I like about it. And it's very short. Like your content can only be 15 seconds or 60 seconds maximum. That's it. So whatever you have to say or whatever you want to do, you have to do it within that time frame. Okay, because as you're on your phone, and I'll hold my phone up, as you're on TikTok and you're looking at it, you're scrolling up to go to the next person, the next person. And so if you don't grab those people probably within the first 3 seconds of your content video, they're going to just swipe through. So it has to be something that will grab them immediately. Whether it be a text headline that you put in there, or whatever it is that you're trying to, like a dance. Sometimes the dancing usually kind of attracts them, but it has to be something that grabs that follower for them to look at it, like it, share it, follow you. That's what you're trying to do. So content is important. And whenever you film content, it has to be in a vertical It can't be, horizontal. Like, sometimes people hold their phones up this way versus this way, but you have to hold it up vertical for it to load, correctly the way they would like it to look. So just the overall look of the content needs to be catching, as well as whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it be dancing, a skit, voiceovers, things like that. So it just depends on the individual. Some people have a niche. Like for me, I've been doing more like movie skits or little, voiceovers, those kinds of things. And I'm not a great actor, but I've kind of learned how to change my facial expressions to kind of mimic what's being said. And it's fun for me to do. It's with everything going on right now with COVID and people being home, which is probably another reason why the app has been so successful lately, is because so many people are at home and they're just TikToking while they're home all day, and I mean, I've seen content from an individual. I mean, they can post 10 times a day, that much. And so, of course, we know candidates probably can't sit on TikTok every day. So that there's a method called batch recording, which is where you may record, I don't know, maybe 10 skits or videos a day, and then just kind of space them out through the week. So at least that you're posting something every day, to keep the following engaged and entertained, and informed as well. So no, but you don't have to be a dancer.
Schedule them within the app. So you could schedule them within the app, like load 10.
Well, it's not scheduling. No, okay. It's more of like you once you're done with the skit or the video, you save it as a private video, which means you can only see the video. So when you're ready to put it live, you would just go back into the video and change the setting to public, which then it would put it out there for everyone to see. So you can just have a bunch of private videos, saved, and then each day send it to public so it's out there for everyone to look at.
So I'll tell you a story. I have a friend who is not on TikTok. They're on Facebook, and they're friends with you. And so Daphne and I were around our friend the other day, and she goes, "Oh, I see Michelle's TikToks all the time because you can download them and you can upload them to Facebook, and then you can upload them to Instagram because I follow you there." So how does that work? Does that increase your reach, or why would somebody like do a TikTok and download it and put it somewhere else?
So within TikTok, you're allowed to connect Instagram and your YouTube channel if you have it within the app. Okay, it does not connect to Facebook, even though you can probably send it to Facebook. But what I like to do is, because my kind of overall vision was when I started is that maybe more people on Facebook would get engaged in TikTok, such as candidates, right? So there's some things that I post in TikTok that I may not post in Facebook because honestly, y'all may not get it. Because the only reason it makes sense is if you're in TikTok. And that's actually what happened early on when I started doing this. People were saying, "What are you doing? Why are you mouthing, to a skit?" Or, I mean, they didn't understand it because they didn't understand what TikTok was about. So in the very beginning, I got a lot of that, but, it's my way of kind of showing, for me, a different side of my personality, showing a different skill set or talent, whatever you want to call it, in a area that this is not familiar with that. And so I think by doing that, maybe people are starting to join TikTok for that reason, to see what all this is about. But again, with President Trump talking about TikTok, that's probably just driving more followers to TikTok to see what is he complaining about. That's more important than the COVID pandemic, right? And so usually what I do is you can save your video. Like I can save it on my phone once it's done. And then I'll post it on Facebook as a separate post. And that seems to be working fine for me, but you can definitely connect your Instagram, or, when you look at your TikTok profile, you can see where you can click on Instagram or YouTube and it'll take you to those pages
Oh,
after.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of the things that I noticed, because I used to have it on my phone and I took it off. And then after watching some of your videos, I said, I'm going to look at this thing. So I downloaded it and I never
Mm-hmm.
actually created an account, but it lets you can download it. Like on my iPhone, I downloaded it and I can see some TikToks without having an
Mm-hmm.
account. I guess those are public ones. And
Yeah.
so it's really interesting. So I've been looking at the different content, and some of the things I've noticed is that there's like structures that somebody comes up with, and other people kind of use that structure for something else. Like somebody will do a dance, and other people will copy that dance, but in their own way, and other people will do skits, but
Mm-hmm.
they put like they do a skit, but then the text on the skit is different. So they sometimes they'll do these gestures where they're pointing at stuff while they're doing their dance, but then it has like a message. Sometimes it's political, sometimes it's educational. I mean, I see people posting on there about languages and history and race and ethnicity and all sorts of things on there. They're getting real creative. How do you what how does that work where you can reuse other people's routines or you can reuse other people's music to
Well,
create
one of
your
the
own?
things that they do
uh,
tell you when you're kind of a new TikToker is, watch some videos like you were doing. Watch some videos, and if you see something like you like, just copy that. You do your own version of whatever they did, whether it be a dance, whether it be a skit. You do your own version of it, and that kind of gets you through that initial. I'm not sure I'm doing it right. But the thing about TikTok is that when you start recording yourself, I mean, you get to see it back before it goes live. I mean, just because you do it, it doesn't mean it's going to go out there immediately. You record yourself, and you can record yourself in parts and sections. You just stop the recording button, and you go back and you look at what you did in the first part, and you're like, okay, well, now I'll go on to the second. Because I think you'll notice that sometimes it looks like it's in chunks, because that's what they're doing. They're like doing a little bit of it, and then they stop it. And then they look at it, and then they think, okay, that looks good. Okay, let me do the second part to it. And so that's how people usually do these. And some people spend an awful lot of time creating these TikToks. I mean, they are so creative in the things that they come up with, which is what I'm really impressed with, is how creative a lot of these TikTokers are. And eventually they start getting reached out by other brands. You can reach a status within TikTok where people are companies are reaching out to you to maybe market a product by using your content. And I think a lot of these young people, that's what they ultimately want to do. And it's also kind of like training wheels for creators who want to get into more platform driven, content creation, things like that. It's a simple way to kind of get started and save their work for other people to look at. So it's got huge potential. I mean, I can see why it has such a following. My kids, they really like it a lot, and I know I spent a lot of time, and I'll admit it, I spent a lot of time like thinking of skits, right? What else can I do, or trying to plan something out, or what headline can I talk about, or what issue can I discuss that's in 15 to 60 seconds, because that's mainly what I use my content for, besides using the just the silly stuff that I use with my, tiny hand. I mean, I bought props. Okay, that's how invested I am in TikTok. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. And I think candidates should get more engaged in it for sure.
I could see definitely where a candidate should get engaged, or an organization should get engaged, because one of the things that I was noticing this weekend is and you touched on this earlier, is there's a lot of videos from young people on there who are talking about politics, and they'll list exactly why they're voting for Donald Trump, and they'll give you all the reasons, and it's part of their skit and the way they do it. And then you have somebody else who will say they're not voting for him. and say something else. But they're very engaged and they're young. They're not the tip. You know, a lot of people assume that all the voters are, and there are a lot of the voters are over 50. You know, over 40, over 50. But there's a lot of young people who are getting engaged and voting, and they're talking about exactly what's on their mind. So it's a really good way to see what's on people's minds, because you see what they're thinking about and what they're valuing in and what they're going through to make a decision about a candidate. And so it's real interesting there. One of the things that I noticed is that people do this thing called, I don't know if there's a technical term for it on TikTok, but they do it like a split screen, and they comment on somebody else's video, either positively or negatively, or they kind of do a duet. What is that? What can you tell me about that?
That's actually what it's called, is duetting. So, you know, if you're scrolling through and you see a video, and it could be politically driven, and they may be trying to make a point, you can duet, and which just means that your half or whatever is showing along with their half. And usually it's people just, saying, hey, look at this article, listen to what she has to say, in her comments. And it's just a way of kind of engaging with other followers. And it's called duetting, is what that's called. And so what's really neat is when you have people duetting on top of each other, where you may have like 5 people in a duet, and you're maybe the last duet. I mean, that's the really kind of interesting and flexibility of TikTok, is doing those kinds of things. And I've duetted a few times with some followers, and what the big goal with TikTok, with the people on it, is the goal is to get followers. I mean, that's like the main goal, is growing your following and be able to hit those milestones. People actually celebrate on TikTok when they've reached 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers or 250,000 followers. I mean, they actually celebrate that on TikTok. And they also have some followers will have parties for other followers. Like if they're not, like for myself, I'm not at 1,000 followers, so I'm unable to go live. But a follower who is able to go live, can go live kind of on my behalf and say, hey, follow Dr. Cohen 71. We're trying to get her at 1,000 followers so she can go live. And so people will, start following you. And so I can see like candidates doing that for each other, to be able to go live and talk to the people that on the live streams, because it's real time now. And I think that's a really great way to engage with young people, answering their questions on live, pitching your platform, talking about what you stand for and what changes you want to make in real life while talking to these young people. Now, that doesn't mean that that you probably won't get your fair share of negativity, because that does happen. But I know TikTok has community standards, just like Facebook does. So if there's ever content that is hateful in any nature or discriminatory in any nature, it's usually removed or cut off. A live feed can be cut off if they feel it's violated those standards. So there are some controls, which I know parents are kind of worried about when they're 16-year-olds. But I think you need to be at least 13 to be on that app. But I know that there's some kids that are probably younger than that are on that app. But so that's what that's about.
Very cool, very cool. By the way, folks, you're on the live stream with Dr. Michelle Cohen. So she's educating us about TikTok. We're the Hays County Tejano Democrats. I'm going to edit this description here for and add a link so that if you want to join the Hays County Tejano Democrats, there's going to be a link here. We are on our membership drive right now. For $20, you can become a member. If you pay $20, you can become a member. If you don't want to become a member, you can always donate money, because we are doing a Get Out the Vote effort for November, and we could use your help. So I'll update the link to include that. So let me ask you this. If somebody was going to start with this TikTok and they were going to use it for political purposes, what's the first thing you think they ought to do before they start posting? What's the first thing they should do once they download the app?
If it was me and if I was running for an office, I think the first thing that I would do was introduce myself to TikTok. I would say, hey, either I could do it verbally or I could do it through the text boxes, which I've done on mine. I think I put an example on Facebook of what I think candidates could do, because there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve with the candidate trying to become familiar with all the capabilities of TikTok. But for me, I think the first thing to do is just introduce yourself. Introduce, who you are, what you're running for, what you stand for, the issues that are important to you. And you meant to make sure you do that all within 15, 60 seconds, right? So it has to be really quick. But once you've done that, then you can start expanding. You can actually, just make videos of you speaking about an issue that may have come up, like I said, in a headline or something, or remind people about registering and voting. Just make it more informational and try and add just some your regular self. I know there's a candidate self and then there's a regular self. These people that are watching, these young people that are watching, they want to see normal. They want to see you just being you. And that could be a funny you that they don't know about, because when they think of candidates, they're thinking serious, stiff, not engaging. Those kinds of is what they have, and not trusting, right? So we want to get over that gap. We want them to trust in the political figures, that way. And so, like I said, if you're a candidate, I would just simply start with an introductory about yourself and what you stand for. I would also sign up for this pro account, which is free, because when you sign up, you're given a basic account. But if you switch to a pro account, you're able to look at the analyticals of your profile, which will tell you the age group that's looking at your videos, what videos are getting looked at, the gender breakdown of who's looking at your profile, where in the country everyone's coming from that they're looking at. So there's a lot of really good information in the analytics part of TikTok that I think that'll be really useful for candidates.
That's awesome. That's good to know. So before I forget, can you show us your shirt? Because I know you have a special shirt.
So my husband made me this shirt. So this is my profile on TikTok, right? And at the bottom, it has the TikTok sign, and then it has my user ID. So what you'll also see when you join TikTok is people will sell merchandise. They will do, just like I did, this is my profile pic on my TikTok, but people will have like other characters. Like I may do a Latina Trump, or something like that. And people sell t-shirts, stickers, handbags, all with just their faces on it or something to do with their profile, which I think is really great for candidates, because they can sell t-shirts, they can sell stickers, they can actually put, an ActBlue account or, a Venmo account to donate to their campaign. They can do that as well in TikTok. So I think there's so much ability for candidates to get out there and use this TikTok in a positive way. It's fun. I think they'll enjoy it. And this is just a prototype. So who knows? I'm hoping to go TikTok famous, but my daughter says that I won't. She's 8, but that's the whole goal, is to become TikTok famous, and you'll get a ton of followers and things start happening. But for us, it's really just to get the message out. Politically, to get our young people involved in politics, get them informed, because usually they're misinformed about politics and they don't know who's running for what and what they stand for. So this is really a great way for young people to engage with politicians.
Yeah, I can see that, because sometimes I'll have conversations with, young people or people my age or older, and they won't even know who's running. I mean, almost everybody knows Trump is running and Biden is running, but they don't know all the other races that are on the ballot and other things that are going on too. So I think it's a great opportunity for people to get the word out about themselves. They're not necessarily at the top of the ballot also. So I have to ask you this. So okay, so I've run for office and I hold an office right now. And so if you're a man running for office, you kind of have there's like an accepted uniform, so to speak. So like it's very safe for me if I'm gonna appear somewhere. Either I'm wearing a suit, or maybe I'm wearing like a solid colored shirt, and some slacks or something. That's kind of like the uniform for But if I was to do a TikTok, that uniform wouldn't probably work, right? I'm thinking.
Well, it's funny. I do a lot of my own TikToks in my office, right?
Mhm.
The only thing that, like I said, I invested in props, like my tiny hands, but I also invested in a ring light, and
Mhm.
it's sitting right here. But I have a ring light that I use to improve the quality of the lighting in my TikToks.
Mhm.
So there are things like that you can do. But yes, of course, if you're really like want to try dancing, or you really want to be out, outside and try and do a TikTok, yeah, of course your dress is going to have to change. But it's all in good fun. And people spend. I think I saw a stat where people are spending like almost 2 hours a day on TikTok, right? And I think I have a stat here that says so 46 million downloads were done in 2019 of TikTok. Okay, so the
Oh,
important thing I want people to remember is 4 million 17-year-olds were turned 18 by election day, and they are
mhm.
probably all on Facebook. I mean, all on TikTok, right? So that's why I think it's just really. I mean, there is an opportunity definitely here for candidates to reach out to the young
Mhm.
people, because they're not doing it in Facebook because they are not on it. Okay, that's their parents' playground. They don't want to be where their parents are or their grandparents are. In fact, you'll see in something. I mean, once you join, young people trying to get old people off TikTok because that's their safe space in a sense. But I think it's all in good fun, and I definitely think it's worth candidates investing in some time.
Well, I know that, so we're gonna turn your interview into like a PDF. We're gonna take highlights out of it and make it available to anybody who wants to get it. So we'll post something about how you can get that in the future. It's gonna take a while to. There's a lot of information here to jot down. Obviously, it's been a really content-rich episode, so we're gonna get that down too. Also, remind everybody. I want to remind everybody that within the description, I'm going to be editing that and putting a link to our Act Blue so that you can either become a member of Hays County Tejano Democrats for $20, or you can donate for Get Out the Vote efforts. Also, so anything above $20, would be for the Get Out the Vote efforts, but the $20 membership will go a long way to helping pay for other things that the Tejano Democrats do. So, is there anything that I left out? Anything I didn't ask you about that we didn't cover that you'd like to let the audience know before we go?
No, I think that that's probably it. I mean, my advice is just be patient with yourself when you're getting engaged in TikTok. I mean, there are so many filters and little options that you can use to create your content. Just be patient with yourself. It takes a little time to learn it, but eventually you'll start, putting them out there, and no problem. But like I learned how to record a sound for a specific TikTok from a 10-year-old girl on a YouTube video. I mean, they are so creative. So if you want to learn how to do something in TikTok, go to YouTube and just look it up, and don't be surprised if it is a 12-year-old girl or boy that's teaching you how to do this. Because I'll even ask my young daughter on how to post a comment up on the screen. She showed me that, and so it's just amazing to me how smart they are with this technology, and it's just amazing, definitely amazing.
It was awesome. Thank you again, Michelle, for being here with us. You've educated a lot of people. It was a lot of fun to have you on. So we really appreciate that. Again, just remember, everybody, just stay tuned to this channel. Follow us, like us. We're going to have a lot of other content coming up over the summer and into the fall. So I think that you're going to enjoy it. It's not going to be a run-of-the-mill content either. It's going to be different, like how to use TikTok for politics and lots of other fun stuff. So thank you again, Michelle, for being here, and we'll talk to you all soon out there in Facebook land.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Willie. This was fun.
Oh, it's so good to have you. Definitely, it's been a pleasure.